Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, Iyun. Today we're going to analyze Maaser Sheni Perek Beis Mishnah Aleph. There's a very famous machlokes when it comes to Maaser Sheni. Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, is Maaser Sheni considered Mammon Gavo, or is it considered Mammon Hedya? Rabbi Meir holds Mammon Gavo belongs to Hashem. Rabbi Yehuda says it's not. It's considered Mammon Hedya, belongs to you. The Gemara in Sukkah on Daf Lamed Hey has three nafkaminas, and basically all the nafkaminas are dependent on whether on halachas that need you to have shalo, right? I mentioned by bailas, by ownership, there's two parts in ownership. There's shalo, which is ownership over the physical thing, and bershusa, which is ownership over the value of the thing. So, like a lulav and an esrog has to belong to you, right? Shalachem, it has to belong to you. If it doesn't belong to you, you can't be yosei the mitzvah of lulav and esrog. Has to belong to you. So therefore, when you take an esrog, a Maaser Sheni, according to Rabbi Meir, you're not yotze because it's Mammon Gavo, it's not Mammon Hedya. According to Yehuda, you'd be yotze. Same thing with matzah, same thing with challah. The Gemara says also all of them need shalo. So you see what, according to Rabbi Meir, and as I mentioned in the first Iyun, that according to Rabbi Yehuda, he would also agree that outside of Yerushalayim, even Rabbi Yehuda also agreed that it's Mammon Gavo, according to Rabbi Akiva Eger. So therefore, Maaser Sheni does not belong to you. Not only, as I mentioned, Truma belongs to the Kohen. Bershuso is not in the Kohen, right? When you say that Maestros maybe also belongs to you entirely. Both the Shalo and Bershuso. Now we have a third Masech, the Maaser Sheni. I'm going to tell you that the Shalo doesn't even belong to you, according to Rabbi Meir. And according to Rabbi Yehuda, outside Yerushalayim also doesn't belong to you. Until you get to Yerushalayim, it doesn't belong to you. Right? You can't be Yosei Lulav and Esther, you can't be Yosei Matzah, and you can't be Yosei Mitzvah Challah. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to Hashem. The Shelo belongs to Hashem. This is made very clear in the first Mishnah in the Masechta, where it says you can't sell it, right? So when I say I can't sell the money of Maaser Sheni or Peiros Maaser Sheni, I can't sell them. Is that a din in the Reshuso or the Shelo? So I think the way I explained it as din in the Reshuso, but now when I'm thinking about it more, I would say no, it's really a din in the Shelo. All the Gemara, all the Mishnayos Masechta Truma said is that if it's no longer be'en, right? If someone eats your truma, so then I don't have the right to be mochel on that. So that's a question of bershusa. When the fruit is around, the value that is attached to the physical item, that's part of shalo. I've said bershusa was the value, but if the physical item is here, that value is part of the shalo. Therefore, I can't sell the fruits of Maaser Sheni, even though it's a valid question of getting money for the value, because I can't be machlef it, I can't exchange it, I can't use it as a mashkon. I can't use it as collateral because I don't have ownership, over the physical product. Even though these are questions of value, I'm using it as a collateral. I'm using it to sell. I'm going to get money for it. Still, the value attached to the item, the physical item, is part of the shalo. And this would explain the end of this Mishnah, where the Mishnah says that it depends. If I make a concoction, let's say I mix together, I want to make something good. I have wine of Maaser Sheni, or I have bread of Maaser Sheni, dough of Maaser Sheni, and I want to make it better. I want to mix things in it, some spices, some herbs, some taste, some flavor, and those flavorings or those herbs or spices don't have the din of Maaser Sheni. So how do I calculate it after now it went up? It's worth more. It's worth more than just the raw ingredients because now it's a better concoction and it sells for more. How much of that has value of Maaser Sheni? So it depends. Mishnah says if you can still see the herbs, you cook fish and you put some green onions, put some scallions in, and you can still see the scallions on top of the fish. So then, yes, the scallions have added value to the fish. It's not worth just the 2 sloim that the salmon was worth. It's worth part of the value of the shvach. However, by bread, where I put some flavor, some cinnamon in the bread or something like that, now it tastes like cinnamon bread. You can't see it anymore. You can't see the cinnamon. It just tastes better. So then everything I put in, even though the cinnamon, the cinnamon was worth 2 slime, and the bread is worth 2 slime, and now together it's worth 6 slime, right? Maaser Sheni money is 6 slime, right? Even though part of it came from things that wasn't kedusha Maaser Sheni. The reason being is that again, like I said, the shalo doesn't belong to you. So when it's one physical item, when it's bread, you can't discern the spices in there. It just tastes better. There's no way of physically discerning it. So it's now become one entity of shalom, and it doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to the whole thing's Maaser Sheni. However, when the two things are still apparent, I have the spices which are not Maaser Sheni, and I have the fish which is Maaser Sheni. So or I have wine and I have herbs in the wine, you can still see the leaves in the wine or something like that. So therefore, it's discernible over there. So therefore, the shvach, what it added to it, is partially Maaser Sheni. However, because that partially came from the wine and partially came from the fish. However, the whole thing is not worth Maaser Sheni because it's two distinct entities. It remains the scallions are not Maaser Sheni, right? The spices that you can see in the wine are not Maaser Sheni, so they're not part of the goof. It's not one goof. So then it's not a question that still belongs to you. It's not Maaser Sheni. If it's one object, so the shalo, the physical object, belongs to Mammon Gavoa, and it was not discernible, it's still one object. Still one object doesn't belong to you. And the whole thing, even though it's worth now more because of the cinnamon inside of it, doesn't make a difference. It's all, as Kedusha Maaser Sheni, it's all Mammon Gavoa. That's the explanation of today's share. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one.